preserve that.
To your left is the American Legion and the Aconcagua. And if you look real hard to your right, right after these trees, you'll see the roof structure of a gigantic building. It was the blowing house for the blast furnaces. There was a big steam engine in there, and it blew compressed air into the bottom of the blast furnaces to create a real hot heat to melt the iron out of the iron ore. In addition, that steam engine ran electricity, generators, and water pumps for the town, besides the company. These bridge supports were for a railroad to carry the iron ore by railroad up to the top of the blast furnaces to dump into the blast furnaces. Okay. Yeah, now this railroad continued from the Legion, comes up here and goes across the Desolate.
You got to remember back then we didn't have bucket elevators, conveyor belts, and everything. So they had to actually build the railroad up that high.
Now we're past the blast furnaces, and at this point there used to be a 50-foot high slag heap. That was the leftovers from the blast furnaces. It just dumped it along here.
I'll tell you what, it was about a mile long. It's about a mile long, but 50 foot high. That's a lot of slag.
And then after the demise of the Thomas Iron Company, because it was replaced by the Bethlehem Steel downriver to make steel instead of pig iron. That slag was mined and it was crushed into what you remember as cinders. You remember they used to put cinders out on the road for traction, and your mothers used to holler at you, take your shoes off, don't get cinders in the house. You can still see some slag heaps downriver from Catasauqua along Canal Road, just before Route 22 Bridge. You can see that ramp, slag going up. That was for the freight iron works in Catasauqua.
Actually, across the 22 Bridge, was Lehigh River, both sides, slag there.
Here's the trestle bridge I was telling you about, the upper railroad. This was built by the Lehigh and Susquehanna Railroad to go across the river to supply cement to the Atlas Cement Company and Dragon Cement Company and all those cement companies over there. Now, the federal government started a heritage thing. I guess that's still in the wind, yeah. Yeah, that was a general supply company. There was an iron company over there too, but it was built during the Depression, the late 1800s, so it didn't go anyplace. It just dissolved. Copley was known for its silk mills and tobacco companies. And I can remember as a kid, when I used to go there, you smell tobacco was all over the place, limestone. It's slowly being filled in with dry fill. And I can see 20 years from now a housing development in there. But Copley's landlocked, they have no more areas for housing, except that. Here, this is a rock road that we just built this past year. This was a dump before that the community used. We cleaned it up in commemoration of the brick industry that was here before the cement and iron industry. They used to make a good hard-fired brick of the clay of the Lehigh River, their major construction material at the time.
Yeah, Ray and I did all the work. Joe Fundra we didn't do anything.
I didn't help.
I helped.
I got pictures of her pushing the seed machine. Over here we have the first kilns to make Portland cement in the United States. The engineers at Thomas Iron Works took notice that the limestone they were using in the blast furnaces to reduce the iron ore into iron. David Saylor over from Ireland? Portland, England. Okay, I'm sorry, Portland, England. He came over and we built these kilns to prove in the Portland cement process, which is a hydraulic cement that was set on the water. Okay? So he proved it in. They were only used for like 10 years, so that's a batch process. They were very labor intensive. There was a building around it. For each level, that you see those doorways there. They dump some stuff in it and dig it out. Yeah. So after he proved it in, across the street he built the famous Saylor Portland Cement Company. The gigantic cement company. And this road we're going across the 2nd Street, Copley, this was the very first paved concrete road in the United States.
Now there's a road over in New Jersey, and they claim they were the first, and there's one in Iowa where they claim they were first, but that's about 50 years after this one.
Now this is the Copley section. This is the very first part of the rail trail that was developed. You would not have known that there was a railroad right-of-way through here. This is completely overgrown with trees and everything. So they had a blaze of trail through here again. And thanks to the American Club of Copley, they helped tremendously with their volunteers. They donated this trailer. This is our maintenance trailer. We were to keep the cutting equipment and everything. And up here, they have a new hoagie shop. They were based in the basement of the old Copley post office, and they made 1 million hoagies over the years for sporting associations and fundraisers. Now they have a professional hoagie shop there. On your right side, that's where the Sailor Portland Cement Company was. The only remnants you'll see is some cement silos that will be coming up soon. The rest of the manufacturing facilities have been torn out. It was a Superfund site afterwards, and a contractor came in and put clay on top to seal the toxic elements in the ground, and he had to create an industrial park. It's been very successful. There's the pavilion. We have very many friends in the trail. That's businesses and neighbors that help out with the trail, making it look nice on their property. One of them is Louis Pepis. He's a big contractor in Copley. These are his buildings, and he donated a lot of time with his labor and that stuff to blaze this trail. He also donated the monies for the split rail fences you see along here that the Eagle Scouts installed. We'll be coming up to North Brook Street. Remember we're at South Brook Street? Now we're up near the trailhead. At this point, we go up a ramp to North Brook Street. But before, when the railroad was active, the railroad went underneath the road. But when the railroad disappeared and the bridge started deteriorating, they just knocked down the bridge and filled it in with dirt because there's no need for a railroad right-of-way.
Poor ladies are wondering why they're riding their bikes when they could have rode on this.
Now, at where the bridge used to be at North Brook Street, there also was a trolley bridge because trolleys were all over the valley. General Trexler started the Lehigh Valley Transit Company, the trolleys, and there's a picture of the trolley and the bridge that was here that went across the railroad. And everybody used the trolley to go to work. People from Fullerton and West Caddy and Allentown, they would come up here and they would get off here to work at the cement companies. And on their way home, they would go to his house.
I make sure nobody's looking first. Send over there.
Now we have a quarter john at the trail.
Yeah.
You need more of them though. I can't.
I know.
We got the woods.
Yeah, right.
You'll see the relief of an...
One is Stockton, one is Seward National, one is Bass, one is